Yeah, hi everyone. This is Clay from Cool Stuff, and we're going to continue our review. This is part 4 of the GMark MG16MP3 mixer, 16-channel mixer with effects, compression, PC recording, flash, and Bluetooth, among other things probably that I'm leaving out. What we want to cover in this part are the effects, and also compression. So let's take a look at that. What's involved with getting the effects to work? Well, number one, you've got to have an effects selected. You change that selection with this switch and then push the button. Turn it, push the button. Let's go back to 1. This will determine the amount of effect. So if it's a reverb or an echo effect, this will give you more or less. Now, important, it remembers how much effect was selected the last time you had this effect. And when you go back to that, it will recall that amount or that value, regardless of the current position of this. So for example, right now it knows that I had this effect set a little bit more than half. If I go to 2 and select that, and then I turn this down, for 2, it's going to know it was here. But when I go back to 1, it's automatically going to set it back where it was, a little bit more than half. So you can't always go by this position. If you don't know where you were at, just move it even just a little bit, and that new value will take effect. Okay, so it's actually a good thing because there's a foot switch you can set up here. Let me focus it right here. If I plug a foot switch in here, I can move this to the next effect. So let's just say you're a drummer and you like a Hall reverb effect 1 on the first song, but then you like to go to Hall reverb 2 on the next song. You can use your foot switch. You don't have to come over here and manually turn this dial. You will have to click it multiple times. Let's say if I wanted to go from effect 1 on the first song, and now I'm on the second song and I like effect 8, I'm going to have to click it, 7 times to move it up to effect 8. At least it provides that with a foot switch. You can't chain them like some MIDI. If you've got any MIDI instruments, you can do something called chaining, where I could set, well, the first effect I want is 1, and then when I click the button once, I want it to move to effect 8. That would be a chain. That would be nice to have, but this board doesn't give you that. You can't have everything, right? So the one thing I want to do is just go in here so we can focus on the effects, and I will provide a little picture-in-picture as we go through these, and I'll show you the different effects, so you'll have that as a reference. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually record as we go through each effect so you can hear it, and then I'm going to take that recording, and that's what you will hear in the video that I post to YouTube. So you're hearing the cleanest sound that I can give you. It's not just going to be what comes through my little iPhone. Okay, so what else? Now, you have to have an effect, and you also have to tell it, here's the channel we're going to be using. This is my microphone channel here. And if I come down here, you can see I've got this amount of my signal going to the effects processor, the built-in one. Now, you can use your aux sends to go to external effects processors if you want, but this is the built-in effects processor. So you can see I'm just a little bit more than the halfway point. The other thing, too, is go over to your effects channel, and you can determine, number 1, the effect has to be on. So here's my, oops, got to get on the right one here. So here's my effects channel. So you have to have that on, and let me just show you here. Dry signal, test. So you can see a big difference. I'm on a large reverb, what is it, Hall reverb 1, so it's a big, sounds like I'm in a cathedral. The other thing is the amount of effect that's returned and mixed in with your original signal, with your dry signal, is determined by the fader. So if I go down here, you don't hear it at all. And if you just want a little bit, more. Now the amount of the effect is the same, like the amount of reverberations or echoes is going to be the same. It's just how noticeable is that. And if you want to hear what the effect is doing without the dry sound, you can do that by hitting your PFL. Now I have a bad habit of calling this a profile button, but that really stands for pre-fader listen. Test, test, test. All right, so that's one way that you can just see what an effect is doing if it's not noticeable. All right, so let's start the recording. Testing, dry, testing, dry signal. Yep, we're recording. Effect 1, effect 1, dry. Dry, effect 2, effect 2. Dry. Effect 3, effect 3. Dry. Effect 4, effect 4. Dry. Effect or dry. Effect 5, effect 5. Dry. Dry. Effect 6, effect 6. Dry. Dry. Effect 7, effect 7. Dry. Dry. Effect 8, effect 8. Dry. Dry. Effect 9, effect 9. Dry. Dry. Effect 10, effect 10. Dry. Effect, dry. Effect 11, effect 11. You can see it's starting to like an echo effect now instead of a reverb. Dry. Effect 12. Dry. Dry. Effect 13. Dry. Dry. Effect 14. Dry. Dry. Effect 15. Effect 15. I don't really notice a difference on that one. Dry. Effect 16. Effect 16. Effect 16. Let's see what 16 is. Oh, yeah, phaser and flanger. You kind of need to have guitar or drums playing. You won't really notice those on vocal. Okay, let's go on. This is dry. Dry. Effect 17. Effect 17. Dry. Dry. Effect 18. Effect 18. Dry. Dry. Effect 19. Effect 19. Dry. Dry. Effect 20. Effect 20. Dry. Oops. Dry. Effect 21. Effect 21. Dry. Dry. Effect 22. Effect 22. Dry. Dry. Effect 23. Effect 23. Dry. Dry. Effect 24. Now this one is the speech vocoder. So if you turn this dial up, you start sounding like a chipmunk. And if you turn it down, about halfway is like normal. And then you keep going, testing. And let's see what happens if I do PFL on that. Testing. Chipmunk. Darth Vader. All right, so enough with the effects. Let's go ahead and take that off. And we want to talk about compression. All right, and this last thing I want to show you is the compression. And we're coming into this channel right here. So this is going to be the compressor knob I'm going to be changing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go from no compression all the way up to the maximum so you can hear the difference. And I'm going to go back and forth. And what you should hear is when this is at the maximum, your lower volume pieces, and most of the playing of this guitar is fairly low volume, so it's going to bring that up. It's going to make it almost feel like you're closer to the guitar, like your ear is a couple feet closer to the guitar than what it was. And the technical thing is what compression is trying to do is make the softer passages louder and the loud passages softer, so that there's less of a difference in the dynamic range. There's less of a difference between the low and the soft and the loud parts of a song. And if you play back any music that you buy off iTunes, any commercial music, and you're looking at the waveforms, you'll see that even in the soft passages, you don't go down to, a very low level. That's because of compression. It's bringing that low volume up. If you look at your own band's live recording or a practice recording, you're going to see big changes between those very soft volume and the very loud volume. But that's not typically the way you would commercial music would be mixed when you're trying to come out with a commercial release. And there's a number of reasons for that. But the number one thing I like about compression is it makes the low passages sound like your head's in the guitar, or you're really close to the singer, almost in their head. So it's a cool effect. And the fact that this compression does work, I mean, it's not going to be the most sophisticated compressor on the market, but this is a $280 board, and it's got separate compression on each channel. So that is a very, very nice thing to have. So we're going to play back Mark's piece, and then I'm going to try just some like whispering into the mic and doing it so you can see what a vocal would sound like with it. But here we go. So this is going to be without compression to start with. Hear that difference? Let's go back to 0. And let me show you what's going on too over here. I'm going to go to 100% now. Look at the difference. Now I'm going to go back down, no compression. Now I'm going to turn compression all the way up. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it up. Off. Off. All the way on. Off. Okay, so you might say, well, why? I could just do that with the fader. Well, you want to sit there through the entire song and move it up and down? You're welcome to do that if you want to, but that's, the compressor is there to do that automatically for you. I think everybody gets that. Yes, so well, let's try it with vocals. I'll go without compression first, and then I'm going to go full max, and we'll just whisper into the mic and see what happens. So right now, whisper, whisper, whisper. There's no compression on. Whisper, whisper, whisper. And I'm turning the compressor up. Whisper, 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 whisper. See the difference? Whisper, whisper. I'm going to turn it off. Whisper, whisper. All right. So let's just see if there's anything else about this mixer that we want to talk about. I think we've hit everything on the board. I might not have mentioned this. There's a little button here. Remember channel 1516 is what the Bluetooth compact flash interface uses to bring a signal into the board, and you have all your controls in channel strip 1516. This determines whether you're going to use the Bluetooth or MP3 interface, or whether you're going to use these RCA jacks to bring a signal in. Well, it'd be 1516. I shouldn't show over here. It'd be this side. So this could connect to a tape deck or some sort of other audio device to bring signals in to this channel, and you got your left and right. So you would push that button if you didn't want to use the Bluetooth, you wanted to use the line in instead, and you push that in if you want to use this interface. I think we've already talked about groups. You saw how we had cabled this over here so I could get a higher signal for recording off of the USB Bluetooth interface. You do have a couple of monitor jacks, you have a left and right monitor jack in here as well, which you can use to go to control room or to, your auxes, your group outs can be used for monitors in your recording space. These could go to a control room set of monitors if that's what you need for another signal coming off of the board. You also have a couple switches over here that are nice. Select source. Now we're set for stereo right now, but if I push that in, I could actually monitor my group 1 and 2 or my group 3 and 4. So that's a nice thing as well. Notice these are all off, and that's because we're not really using any of the aux sends here. We are using the built-in effects, and we would use this one if we wanted to use group aux 4 to go to an external effect instead of using the internal one. And same thing with 1, 2, 3, and 4. And keep in mind, these could go to external effects processors, or they could go to monitors if you need that in your rehearsal space. I guess the only other thing that I want to talk about is the pros and the cons. And my mic's a little hot, so let me turn that down just a little. This board has a lot for $280. I love that it's got compression. I love that the effects to me are good, maybe very good. But there was one board, the Mizizner 16-channel board that I reviewed earlier. I think that one out of the 3 boards had the best effects, the best built-in effects. But these are good in this one. Some of the effects you couldn't really hear the effect as I was going through and demonstrating. And that's because some of the effects really need a guitar or some other instrument rather than the voice. They just don't show up if you're using your voice. But the effect is there. I heard it. I went through all the effects with my guitar friend Mark, and he played a little piece, and I went through all of the effects with him. Auto wah sounded pretty cool. You could definitely tell with the guitar that some of these effects are there. They're just, you need more frequencies than human voice. Some of the other things I like about this board, let's see. I like that it's got 4 aux sends. I like that it's got the groups that you can, and that solved this problem for us. Remember when we were going through recording, it was great to have that group that I could patch certain instruments into and leave the other instruments off so that I could get that one channel's level up for recording. So that was a real bonus. For $280, it's a really a good buy. I can't imagine, what else next year you'll be getting for $280 or in 2 years. Maybe you'll get true multi-track recording, but you're getting an awful lot for the money with this. The things I didn't like about it, well, channel 1516, I wasn't getting a good level. We did solve that, but it'd be nice if I had a gain on channel 1516, so I didn't have to do that little trick. I did have one other issue with this, and that is I might send this board back. I'm probably going to send this board back, and what I don't know is am I going to ask for another board of the same, you know, manufacturer, another GMark MG16MP3, or am I going to go even further and get a true multi-track recording board? I'm not sure yet, but here's why. This button is stuck on. It did work the first time I pushed it, but the second or third time I had to take the main stereo channel and mute it, this button got stuck. And I had a heck of a time getting my fingernail in there and releasing it. And then, of course, I pushed it again and it got stuck again. And about the third time, I said, all right, I'm leaving it on. I'll just slide the fader down when I don't want this, you know, on. But this board will have to go back. That's defective. It just sticks every time you push it. But other than that, I mean, if you got one of these units and you don't have a stuck button on it, this is a great value for $280. So much of the stuff used to be outboard. Effects used to be outboard. You had to have another processor, and these are pretty good effects. I'm kind of, you know, very pleased with the reverbs, the choruses on this. I could totally use these with my drums. Compression. Even the high-end mixing boards, like there's a Mackie $800, $750, $800 board, it does do multi-track recording, but it doesn't give you compression. So a real good value. I'm going to say I'm very happy with this. Will I keep it? Well, subscribe and keep watching and see, you know, if a Mackie or a Tascam multi-track recording mixing board is the next thing I review, because I might just go that route. I'll probably talk myself into it. All right, thanks everybody for watching this, and I hope you got something out of it. All right, thanks.